All right, guys, back with another video. This is Crafting Your Language. We're going to talk about this article, The Surprising Origin of the Word Checkmate, and other fun language facts about chess, written by Sydney and Stephanie. I'll put the link in the description. Um, it's from Duolingo blogs. So I really like chess, like languages, so figured I'll just make a video about it. I won't cover the whole article, but just cover a few sections that I really liked. And so, beginning of the article talks about how there's many languages involved in chess. So you have the en passant, comes from French. This is where it's how a pawn captures another pawn. Then there's the blitz matches or blitz chess, comes from German, um, fast rounds. And then there's how the bishops move. I think the CH is pronounced like a K in Italian, so fianchetto. Um, Maybe people call it fianchetto. I actually never heard of this until I read this article, but basically they say the long history of chess is a history of language and linguistic change. And all you have to do is listen closely. So, kind of a life lesson there. Just listen closely, and it can tell you a lot. Uh, so, let's get into it. Where do the names of chess pieces come from? And so, the chaturanga. It's a Sanskrit word, and I think this anga, it means arm. So four parts of the army. So there's the infantry, cavalry, yeah. Troops mounted on elephants in chariots. I think this is how chaturanga. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. How it actually got. Well, this was the original game. So you have your pawns here. Oops, I should probably draw an arrow. And then this was the elephantry. This was the cavalry, chariotry, and then you had the king. Their job was to protect the king. So infantry, cavalry, elephantry, chariotry. So this is basically what I wanted to talk to y'all about, and that's what the article covers. So it's pretty cool. So pawn, I think most people kind of get this etymology, I guess you could say. The infantry foot soldiers were represented as the pawns. The English word pawn was adopted from the older French form. I think this is probably the only one I really know how to pronounce, pion. And so foot soldiers and pawns were allegedly from the poorest classes, which is why some languages use the words for peasant and farmer for these pieces. So English word peon ultimately comes from the same word as pawn in Latin. All right, so pretty easy. Or ideologies, pretty easy to understand, I should say. Etymology, not ideology. So we have knight next. So this originated as the cavalry, so soldiers on horseback. So you see some languages use this piece and they call it caballo, so horse in Spanish, caballo. I remember I was in Guatemala, everyone definitely called this caballo. Then we can go to rook. Pretty interesting change. It says at some point the original chariots became what we know today as rooks. So the symbol of the rook playing piece has moved quite far from the image of speedy chariot. In some languages, includes Spanish, the rook is simply known as the torre. And so, unclear, it looks like, where it came from in English, but the English and Old French words came from Arabic Rook. I don't know how to say this. I'm sure these K's and H's are pronounced very different, and it would help if this was maybe in not Roman letters, and then which came from Rook in Persian. Not, I don't know if that's how it's pronounced, but we'll just go from it. And yeah, so kind of interesting. Like, this originally was like a chariot type piece. And what else? Oh, it talks about some how in German it's about castling, but I don't want to really cover that. And then they said, then we'll move last piece, bishop. They said it's probably undergone the most dramatic change, both linguistically and actually its shape. So this represented the elephant-mounted troops or elephantry. Some languages still use elephant words today. So Russian uses the regular Russian word for elephant, slon, the Spanish, alfil, and Italian, alfier, words for bishop come from the Arabic word for elephant, fil, which itself came from the Persian word for this animal, bil. I also don't know the actual, I don't know anything about Farsi really, but it's kind of cool because I know a lot of these P's and F's change a lot, at least in the Arabic, and especially going into English, but that's beside the point. I do think this is cool because the bishop, I forgot to say bishop in Spanish, but maybe like obispo. When I was learning the words for like the pieces of chess in Spanish, I was surprised it wasn't called something else. So now I understand why this came, like alfil. I know the origin from it, so that's pretty cool. So how did this happen? It said after its start as a soldier carrying elephant, the piece took on the persona of other imitating beings, crocodiles, hunters, and archers. But in some chess traditions, it became a messenger, officer, or runner. A Scottish chess set from the 1100s included the piece as a mini clergyman, really a little man, but the first written evidence of the piece being called specifically a bishop comes from Icelandic biskup, but the 1500s English text also called the piece bishop. This reference also shows up in the Portuguese name for the piece bispo. So pretty interesting how this was like basically elephantry, and then it changed to bishop. And like there's a chess, like now when you buy a chess piece, you kind of like there'll be like clergymen as this piece and nowhere near elephantry. So it's always nice to kind of see the origin. So at the end of the article, they have like the comparison of the word chess, check, and checkmate in a few different languages, kind of the more common non-esoteric languages, I guess you could say. And all I thought, it was pretty interesting. There's this like pattern with mate, or like there's this MAT or MOT, so you see it here in Arabic, Malek, and then Czech. French has this MAT, German MATT, Greek, at least when it's romanticized. Hindi here, Hungarian, Japanese, Korean, Persian or Farsi. Then you have the Polish, Portuguese, Russian, Spanish, and Turkish. And, for all I know, well, never mind. But pretty cool, though. It's pretty cool. So just wanted to share that video. Thanks for watching.